To help farmers improve production, Farming Connect have set up business clubs throughout Wales for every sector of agriculture. Today, the sheep farmers of Dinas Mawddwy have come to their group, which is Know Your Flock. And Rhydian Glyn, who rents land on Bryn Melyn Farm Llanwrin by Machynlleth, will be recording his sheep, so the group can analyse their findings. Here's Sean Evans of Farming Connect to explain more.
The concept of the business club is we as Farming Connect run numerous business clubs throughout Wales. This one in particular is recognising your flock, or knowing your flock as it's called, where we bring a group of 10 farmers together and looking at using one concept farm within that group that will do some recording work with the consultant Catherine Akilieni, who we are working with. And we're looking at various physical flock performance indicators throughout the meetings we'll hold over a year, and trying to see how those influences have on the actual business of the flock. This is quite very basic recording. We're connecting the ewes' performance in line with the kilos of lamb that the ewes have reared. So there isn't any individual connection at all, but on a flock basis. And also with the farm we work with here with Rhydian, Catherine comes here 3 or 4 times a year to collect the information, so the actual recording itself is done with someone else. When our business clubs, we've got numerous of them throughout Wales, we'll disseminate any findings we find through the Farming Connect website and through various meetings as well. It's all very much based on the business profitability of a flock and how efficient is it. And using very basic figures such as the physical performance, such as the weight of the ewes in relation to the weight of the lambs, and recording the condition score at different times of the year, can relate back then to the actual output of lambs that the farmer produces, and in relation then to the financial impact then.
Catherine Nakienli is an independent sheep consultant in Wales, and she is the leader of the group.
The main thing we're doing here today is looking at the condition score of the ewes, but we're also going through them and collecting the scanning results as well. So this is the second time we've been out to this flock. So the first time was before the rams went in at the end of October, and at that point we weighed all the ewes and we looked at their condition score, and we looked at the amount of variation in how they were performing. And the aim now is to get the scanning results and look back to see what impact the condition score had pre-tipping on how they've scanned, and also to see if there's any other sort of indications on how they have scanned and what the differences are. And the aim for that really is that to get a handle on, are there any changes that could have been made through the summer leading up to tapping to actually improve the results. So that could be improving the number of twins or reducing it depending on the farming system. So it's just getting a better handle really on how the sheep are doing. Yeah, these ewes here, they're about 6 weeks off lambing, but obviously a lot of people will actually have started lambing or be very close to lambing. So nutrition really is the main thing. The nutrition really was set really through the last season, so from last weaning really is when it began to impact based on the condition score of the ewes. But there's still things you can do. So as much as anything, it's the quality of the feed. So it's looking at the quality of the silage and the forage being fed, and also then the quality of the energy and the protein in the diet. So it's all about now getting as many viable lambs as you can and getting ewes in good enough condition that they can milk then through the spring. We have discussed sort of the technical aspects of sheep production, but it's trying to get people thinking as well about the cost benefit of things, because obviously we can do everything perfectly, but we may not make any money. So it's about actually working out what you can and can't do and what the returns are for spending some of the money really. So that's the main thing, sort of message we're trying to get across through the clubs. So it's working out which are the important things to record, because you can spend all day recording and it doesn't actually make you any money. So it's a means to an end as opposed to something in itself. But when you actually think about moving a business forward, unless you actually know what's going on, you just cannot sort of make improvements really. So it really needs to underpin everything, but not sort of overwhelm it either. So and it can be pretty basic. It can just be pen and paper, and I know some people are going down the ID route and making the most of that.
Rhydian Glyn has been a member of the group since it formed. What are the advantages of the scheme?
We met back in October, I think, for the first time, and I put my name forward, and nobody else was that willing to be the focus flock. But since I've only got about 230 ewes lambing this year, I thought it wouldn't be that much of a hassle to go through them and weigh them and condition score them. And also because I'm buying in ewes, I thought it'd be interesting to see which ewes are performing best for me, so I can make business decisions on that going forward. The data we've collected today is quite useful. Just looking at what scanning percentage what ewes gave me. If they were, a high condition score to begin with, and bigger ewes, they did tend to scan better. But I've got to remember the land that I've got. I won't be able to carry crossbred ewes. It's Welsh Mountain that suit the land that I've got. So I don't want that. I don't too high a scanning percentage, just a decent one.
After collecting the data, the group discussed the results. How does this help the farmers?
No, it's very healthy just to have a chat and discuss ideas. Catherine's got some very good ideas on management and collecting information, and everybody has got different ideas on how to do different things. So it's good just to share information. We discuss and we share our findings. We speak to other people, and I suppose the best way is word of mouth. Spread information is word of mouth, isn't it? And yeah, it's a good thing. And a lot of the ewes I've bought, they were 3s and 4s, so they didn't have any EID. So there was no point having a EID reader. So myself and Catherine did, we went through the ewes one by one, recording the numbers with pen and paper, weighing them, condition scoring them, and looking at their age as well. And then we can work out then how condition score and weight affects the scanning percentage. There's a big variation between sheep. I think they're all mainly Welsh Mountain. The biggest ewe weighed 63 kilos. Wow. And the latest one was, I think it was 29 or something. So within the breed, on the same farm, there's a big variation.
I would argue that in Trydian's case here now, the main benefit for him from the first year of this will be that he will have a set of figures to look at and to be able to compare year on year. If he decides to do this type of work on an ongoing basis, he will be able to assess then how his flock is progressing, as it's a very early stage business in Trydian's case. He can use the tools he's learned on this process to establish a more profitable flock.